Everyone had scattered off to their Saturday morning activities. The lights were dimmed, and the television, moments earlier, loudly broadcasting the news, was now silent. In the sunny suburb of Sydney, where I grew up, the only thing to be heard that morning were the birds chirping and the crickets croaking. I sat myself down at the kitchen island. On the one hand, it was nice to be alone. It got tiring trying to mask what I was really up to. Oh, I think I'll stay home today. I have too much homework. Do you think you could leave the light on when you finish with the bathroom? I always fumbled to try to find it. It's fine, Mom. I shouldn't be eating freshly cooked pancakes anyway. My coach would flip. Looking back, my family obviously knew I was trying to keep Shabbos. But this was an uncomfortable topic in our house. Staring at the fridge door, the one I couldn't open since it would cause a light to switch on, I also felt lonely. Only a few hours were left before darkness descended, and I would need to close the book. Besides, I was really hungry, and anything my strict diet permitted lay behind the doors to that fridge. I stared at it, angry, frustrated. How had I gotten myself into this? Why couldn't I just walk away? Why couldn't I be like the other girls and attend training Saturday mornings without thinking back to the warmth and beauty of Shabbos? Suddenly, in the midst of a bright day, the power went out. Not quite believing my luck, I ran to the fridge, pulled out my allotted food for that day, grabbed some ice cream, which I felt was well earned, and sat down to finish that really good book. There were many times such as this throughout my journey back to Yiddishkeit that I felt God was right there, patting me on the back, saying, "You got this," just when I thought I almost had enough. In fact, sometimes he popped up so often that I almost wished he would leave me alone. But try as I might, there was no turning back after our first random encounter. It started one Sunday morning. Figure skating training had been cancelled. This break in routine was happily welcomed by my family, whose lives revolved around my sporting career. Most days started nice and early with a 2-hour on-ice training session at 5 a.m. This was followed by a few hours of school, which I was often late to and usually left early. Thereafter, an hour at the gym awaited, where 400 sit-ups was an ordinary goal. Then it was back to the ice for another on-ice training session and a quick drive home to catch up the day's schoolwork. Interspersed amongst all this were weekly visits to the sports psychologist, physiotherapy, Pilates, and ballet. My diet was carefully spelled out to ensure maximum strength with minimum calories. You may be thinking, what kind of childhood is that? Well, it wasn't really a childhood. In fact, my husband, who grew up very religious, is more familiar with Disney movies than me to this day. But I loved figure skating. It was my passion and my dream. I was on TV and in the newspaper. I was talented and I was going places, and there was a whole group of supportive people there to help me get there. The feeling of flying through the wind to the smell of crisp ice is one I will cherish forever. I will forever be thankful to my parents for the sacrifices they made. Although often tentative in the face of persistent coaches, they went along with it anyway, because that's what good Australian parents did. As a parent myself now, I'm in awe of their commitment, especially considering taking my kids to swimming lessons is the bane of my existence, one I will jump at every opportunity to escape. So as you can imagine, a free Sunday was no small feat. My parents headed out to the markets, and I had a friend sleepover. As she was about to leave, my friend, who grew up in a traditional Sephardic family, turned and asked, "I'm starting my bat mitzvah at Chabad today."
It's okay.
Want to come? I took a quick glimpse at the empty house behind me and chose to join along. I remember that day clearer than any other in the past 30 years of my life. I walked into the small, dimly lit house turned shul. In the corner sat the Rebbitzin, surrounded by a table full of girls listening intently. felt out of place, especially considering she wasn't expecting me. Nonetheless, I was welcomed warmly. We often speak about the Pintele Yid, the Jewish spark that lies within each of us. In that short hour, mine was ignited. The Rebbetzin brought down deep concepts of Hasidus and made them relatable to teenage girls. She likened the Yetzer Hara and the Yetzer Tov, the animal soul and the godly soul, to the angel or devil you may see in movies, sitting on a character's shoulders, attempting to persuade the character to act according to their ways. This struggle, she explained, is one that guides us through life and lies at the basis of all our decisions. I did not know back then that my whole life was about to take on an entirely new meaning, but I was sure I had come across something very special. Come what may, I had to go back to that little house and find out more. I couldn't wait to tell my parents. Up until now, the plan had been to celebrate my bat mitzvah with a large party in Israel involving the whole extended family. I was so excited to let them know I would like to learn in the lead up to this occasion. Disappointment is an understatement to describe their reaction when I shared the news.